Eicher Cng BS6 Vehicle Diagnostic Video. Objective: by the end of this video, you will be able to understand accelerator pedal verification using DA Light Plus tool, oxygen sensor inspection procedure using DA Light Plus tool, CNG injector leakage testing procedure using DA Light Plus tool, injector or cylinder cutoff test, throttle body calibration procedure using DA Light Plus tool, accelerator pedal verification procedure. Connect the DA Light tool and switch on the ignition key. Open the DA Light Plus app in the tablet and select the CNG vehicle under Job Card option. Go to Live Parameter option and select the accelerator pedal position. Click on the play button. When pedal is in fully released condition, value should be 0%. If value shows more than 0%, it means accelerator pedal sensor is faulty. When pedal is in fully pressed condition, value should be 100%. If showing less than 100%, check any stopper or obstruction in the accelerator pedal travel. If there is no obstruction for full pedal travel, it means accelerator pedal sensor is faulty. Replace it. Oxygen sensor inspection procedure. Need for oxygen sensor inspection. If vehicle is shutting down automatically in idle after 1 minute, or in case of suspected of O2 sensor failures. Connect DA Light tool and switch on the ignition key. Read the fault codes. If P003111 fault code is active, check the sensor connector is connected properly. Check the voltage between front O2 sensor pin 4 and vehicle ground. It should be between 11.75 to 12.75 volts. If in case voltage not found at pin 4, check the blade fuse number 26 and replace it if found faulty. Check the resistance between pin 3 and pin 4. It should be 2.5 to 10 ohms. Above steps are okay, and in case if there is no DTC available in the ECU. Go to Live Parameter option and select the front O2 lambda sensor ratio. Click on the play button. Start the vehicle and wait for 1 minute. After engine start till 1 minute, then value will be stable at 2.0. After 1 minute, the front O2 lambda sensor ratio should be between 0.95 to 1.5%. If it is not within the limit, replace the sensor. If in case engine shut down in idle RPM, accelerate and increase the engine RPM to more than 2500 RPM and wait for 3 minutes. Check for the DTC. If P01A00 is active, it means oxygen sensor is faulty. Clear the DTC and repeat the same process once after clearing the DTC. Replace the front oxygen sensor if same fault code gets active again. Injector leakage testing procedure. Need for injector leakage test to identify the injector leakage in the event of engine misfiring. Connect the DA Light tool. Check rail pressure value under Live Parameter option. Start the engine for a minute and then switch it off. Note: HPRV solenoid gets switched on and allows gas to flow inside common rail only when engine starts cranking. Keep the ignition key in on position. Do not start the engine. Rail pressure value should be in the range of 460 to 550 kPa. Wait for 30 seconds to get the value stable. Monitor the rail pressure for the next 5 minutes. If the rail pressure dropping more than 100 kPa within 1 minute, then injector leakage to be checked. Check the injector leakage using Snoop solution bubble method. Drain the oil from coalescing filter As there is always a permissible leakage in injectors, don't check injector leakage by dipping in water. Replace the injector if found leakage. Injector or cylinder cutoff test. Need for injector cutoff test to identify the misfiring within the cylinders. Connect DA light tool and switch on the ignition key. Go to Advanced Diagnostic option and select Test Operation. Then select the Injector Cutoff Test option. Start the engine and run the injector shut-off test for each injector. Injector cutoff test takes 10 to 15 seconds time to complete. Within this time, observe the engine behavior and sound. If engine sound and behavior is changing by shutting off any specific cylinder, it indicates there is no misfire in that particular cylinder. If engine sound and behavior is not changing by shutting off any specific cylinder, it indicates the misfire in that particular cylinder. After identification of misfired cylinder, check for proper functioning of ignition coil, spark plug and injector for affected cylinder. Check the ignition coil and rubber boot for damages. Check the ignition coil spring and contact area for green color rust. If green rust deposition found, remove the spring from the rubber boot and clean it using diesel or emery paper. Check the ignition coil resistance between pin 2 and spring contact area. It should be 10.5 to 11.2 kilo ohms. Service hint. To identify the ignition coil failure, swipe the ignition coil from OK cylinder to misfired cylinder. And again, do the injector cutoff test. If misfire gets transferred to another cylinder, means ignition coil is faulty. Replace it. Remove the spark plug and check for oil traces. If oil found on the spark plug body, check and replace the O-ring of ignition coil sleeve. Or if oil found on the spark plug tip, check and replace the CCV unit. Check the spark plug electrode gap. It should be 0.7 mm for E494 engine and 0.6 mm for E483 engine. If gap found improper, replace the spark plugs. Still, if misfire continues, check and replace the injector for affected cylinder. If above steps found okay and still there is misfiring, then remove the cylinder head and check for coolant or oil traces on piston top. Note, if coolant or oil observed in combustion chamber, replace the cylinder head. Again, connect the DA light diagnostics tool and do the injector's cutoff test for final confirmation. Throttle body calibration procedure. Need for throttle body calibration. In the event of replacement of electronic throttle body or ECU in the vehicle, calibration to be done for learning the movement of throttle body. Calibration process. Connect the DA light tool and switch on the ignition key. Go to the Advanced Diagnostic option. Select the throttle body calibration option in right parameter menu. Enter the value 1 in calibration and click on the right tab. After writing immediately, the throttle valve will move. Closely observe the click and buzzing noise from the throttle body. Once the noise is observed, put the ignition off and wait for 1 minute. Put the ignition on again. You will get a pop-up of "Write failed," which is OK because the ECU will set the value to 0. Note, during writing the throttle movement indicates that the calibration is successful. Thank you for watching.